Hello, it's Teresa Palavoda, your instructor for African American Lit. Today I want to talk to you just a little bit about what you've already read regarding Sojourner Truth and Harriet Jacobs and the cult of true womanhood, also known as the cult of domesticity. Just briefly want to go over some of the things that I want to make sure you understand about these things. Number one is that the cult of true womanhood is a social construction of society at the time. It is not really the way life was for women, especially women of color or women who might be white women, but they didn't have any money, okay? So this whole cult of domesticity was about women who were in the upper levels of society, so to speak. But there were those four characteristics or tenets, and that was piousness or piety, and that is religion based, basically a woman's should be very godlike. In other words, that God should be high on their list of important things. The second part is domesticity or being domestic, and that's just relating to the home. In other words, that women belong in the household, and that is their domain. Men at this time are just now going out and working in a non-agrarian society, and so the idea is the man's place is in the office and the woman's place is in the home. The third thing is submissiveness, and this is the idea that women are submissive to the man of the house, whether that be their father, her father, her brother, her husband. And sometimes when husbands died during this time, women didn't even have, they would, if the man died, the children could be willed to someone else. So it wasn't even like the women at this point had any sort of authority over themselves or over their children. And then the final one is purity, and this is of body and soul, that women should be pure, and they should be pure in their mind, in their body, in their soul. And that's exactly what you think about with regard to purity. It can mean remaining a virgin. That's just the physical aspect. So they did not indulge in anything that was thought of as being less than. And so that also meant like having impure thoughts and that kind of thing. So these are the four tenets of the cult of domesticity, also the cult of true womanhood. So when you look at the two women that I've asked you to read, and I've got some notes over here. The first one, let's look at Sojourner Truth and the way she can and cannot join in this idea of the cult of true womanhood. So started out her life as a slave, Sojourner Truth did, and she is best known for her speech on racial inequalities, and it's called Ain't I a Woman? And I believe that I asked you to watch that. Alfred Woodard does a really good job of conveying the essence of that speech. Of course, we don't know exactly. There are we don't know exactly the words that she said because it wasn't recorded. People just scribbled down as fast as they could. And so it's been changed through the years, but you get the gist of what Sojourner Truth said with regard to women's rights and African Americans' rights. So Sojourner Truth was great on so many levels that it's difficult to sort of do her justice in a little 7-minute video. And so I just want to make sure that you read the biography that I posted, that you think about the fact that she cannot be a true woman as society deemed it at the time, because she's out working as a slave. She is not pure because she perhaps had children out of wedlock, and so therefore would not fit into this category. She's not submissive. She rebelled against her owner because he had promised that he would set her free, and then he did not do that. And so she took her youngest child and walked away, and often said, "I didn't run away, I walked away in the broad daylight," or something to that effect. She also was one way in which she could be a true woman is that she was very pious. She put God first. She talked about God, and that's the way she changed her name, as a matter of fact. After she was freed, she said that God came to her and told her that she needed to sojourn, go around and tell people about the truth of God. And so that's how she got her name, Sojourner Truth. So you could look at her and see how, on one hand, she doesn't fit those tenets of a true woman, but then on the other hand, by today's society, she's a magnificent woman, because she is a woman who takes control of her own life. And so that is a wonderful thing. Again, remember that sometimes society puts these ideals out there in order to supposedly help people, but really it's a way of controlling people. And so this cult of domesticity, cult of true womanhood, also kept women in their place, wherever that might be. So you might want to think about that when you're looking at these issues and Sojourner Truth. She had a relationship. She worked hard with regard to being an abolitionist. She was also a suffragist, so she fought against slavery. She fought against. She fought for women to have the right to vote. And I know that you can read in the biography quite a number of things. One of the things that I always put on the test is that picture that I believe I've posted. If I haven't posted, I'll post it again, of her with Abraham Lincoln. And then I always say, who is this woman with Abraham Lincoln? And people always get it wrong. It's not Harriet Jacobs. It's not Harriet Tubman. We don't even cover Harriet Tubman in this class. It's Sojourner Truth. So I'll post that again just to make sure that that it's there. So anyway, sorry. I started reading about stuff and forgot you were here. Anyway, so if you have questions, let me know, and stay tuned for the next video, which will discuss Harriet Jacobs and the cult of true womanhood. Thanks a lot. Have a good day.